Oh, he loves to fire and what a goal! Oh, I say.
Welcome to another exciting episode of X-Sports, your number one sportstainment show, a fusion of sports and entertainment. It's all for your listening pleasure.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everywhere, all over the world. This is Talking Point with Stevo, a program brought to you by Eagles House Global Resources from the stable of X-Sports, the number one sportainment show on TV, on radio, and online. And this is Talking Point with Stevo, reaching you live from MZ Radio London and AP Radio UK. This is going to be another interesting episode of Talking Point with Stevo. Like I told you guys last week, in the course of the program last week, that I'll be talking about the Spanish La Liga champions, talking about Real Madrid. In today's episode, we'll be looking at something interesting, something very, very interesting, part of what catapulted the Real Madrid team into winning another La Liga title. So we'll be looking at the talking point to be revolving around the 5 turning points that define Real Madrid La Liga trophy or triumph in the season under review year 2019-2020. 5 talking points that indeed catalyze the defining moment of Real Madrid becoming the La Liga champion, dethroning the Barcelona forces. That is our talking point for today. So don't go nowhere. When we come back, we'll be looking at these 5 talking points. My name remains Alai on this Steven Tolulokbe, and this is Talking Point with Stevo from the stable of Exports, reaching you, brought to you by Eagles House Global Resources, live from MZ Radio London and AP Radio United Kingdom. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Into the area. Oh, what a back heel! And there is the opening goal.
Welcome back. We are still talking about Real Madrid and talking about the turning point of the champion of the Spanish La Liga team. This is as a result of the fact that Real Madrid became the champion again for the first time in 3 years. We are looking at the turning and the defining moment of an interesting but a bizarre season. It's a bizarre season because of the pandemic that struck and became ravaged the entire world. Talking about coronavirus, and which ordinarily elongated the duration and the period of the season, till August, till July, and stuff like that. Something that we should have rounded off in less than 12 months, but we have seen a season that has elongated from, the normal time. But be that as it may, Real Madrid had shown that they are back as the Spanish La Liga champion, and they did give Barcelona team a run for their money in this particular title race. It was a fight to the finish. Real Madrid leaving it till the very tail end. Just they won the La Liga a match to spare. So that is the kind of situation that we have found ourselves. It's not surprising because Zinedine Zidane was brought back to the fore, and he did his magic to turn around and made the Merengue team, another favorite for the year in review. So we are looking at 5 talking points in the turning that gave the turning point to the Real Madrid team. So number 5 is the return of Zinedine Zidane. The return of Zinedine Zidane. Zinedine Zidane announced that he was leaving Real Madrid despite delivering an unprecedented, back-to-back, 3 seasons back-to-back UEFA Champions League title in a row to the Spanish La Liga giants, and it sent shock across Europe. Everybody felt he was mad. Why would you leave when you are at the helms of your affair? But then he needed to take a break to review. Expectedly plunged the Los Blancos into a chaos, because just a month after Zidane's retirement, Zidane's announcement of leaving, the all-time goal scorer of Real Madrid, Cristiano Ronaldo, in the wake of 2018, also called it quits with the Los Blancos, saying that he's bringing to an end an illustrious, scintillating period in the club history. So in a way, Real Madrid have still not filled this void. I'm talking about Cristiano Ronaldo, but then that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about, importantly, Zinedine Zidane's absence, in the turn of summer of 2018. So, but that has been the issue. Julian Lopetegui replaced him, and at the Santiago Bernabeu, he did, all he could do. Having been at the spell at the Spanish national team, a lot was expected of him. But this is Spanish La Liga, where Barcelona would give you what is called baptism of fire. There's virtually no coach that did not receive the baptism of fire during the Clasico, talking about Rafael Benitez, talking about even the special one, Jose Mourinho, all of them, 5-0, 5-2, the baptism of fire. So Lopetegui was not an exception. He equally, received baptism of fire, and they showed him the exit door after Barcelona did the damage over him. Santiago Solari equally came on board, 2018-19 season. All the while, Barcelona remain favourites, with of course Lionel Messi capitalizing on the major loophole of the absence of Zinedine Zidane and the loophole of the absence of Cristiano Ronaldo that left for Juventus at that level. So Julian Lopetegui, Santiago Solari were not enough to hold forth for the Bernabeu champion. Somehow, Florentino Perez managed to convince the Frenchman to come back to his position after, over 2 years, close to 2 years, in a shocking circumstances, for his second stint at the club. And of course, Real Madrid managed just 5 wins in 11 games toward the end of the season when he came back. So a lot of people doubted his second coming could be anything to be talked about. The 7-3 defeat in a preseason match against the Atletico rival, talking about Atletico Madrid, did not equally do him any good. People felt that was it. His second coming is a fluke. Of course, his first time winning was a fluke, and the second coming would be a major disaster. But he kept to his gun, ensuring that he continued to do a lot of player man management, which is one of his greatest strengths. Talking about Zinedine Zidane, and he was able to silence the detractors, proving his credential as a very good coach in an emphatic manner, surpassing all expectation by becoming the champion of the Spanish La Liga once again after coming over to take over from late last season. So Zinedine Zidane managing the second La Liga title within 3 years is something that people would cherish so much, and to say that he has never been a fluke. He has shown us that he has what it takes to move and to become a world-class coach. Indeed, if you have won Champions League back-to-back on 3 different occasions, it simply connotes that you have something that you are doing well. Number 4, by the time Zinedine Zidane left, there has been a dip in form of some of the veterans of the Real Madrid team. So turning around the dip in form of the veteran, turning around the dip in form of the veteran, or those that we call the old war horses of the Real Madrid team, is indeed another magical intervention of Zinedine Zidane. Specifically, one will remember vividly how people shouted and cried foul, when Sergio Ramos and Marcelo were included in the FIFA team a season ago, to say that these guys are ahead of a fantastic player from Liverpool from all over the world was a major issue over the news back then. Sergio Ramos had lost form. Marcelo was nowhere to be talked about. Luka Modric was a shadow of his old selves, in talking about the same player that won World Footballer of the Year, FIFA Ballon d'Or in 2018. So looking at the dip in form, even Toni Kroos, who ought to be in his prime, did not click the way he ought to be. So invariably leaving Casemiro, Karim Benzema and Rafael Varane as the trio holding back the Real Madrid forces. So his return, he had 2 options: buying new players, do away with the old cargoes because of loss of form, or ginger them and bring them back to speed. And what did Zinedine Zidane do? He went for the challenge. He gave a new breath of life into the faltering veterans. And to say that Modric, who seems to have been done, as a player a season before, began to, rediscover his magical wand, and was pivotal once again to the rotational arrangement of Zidane, rotating with Federico Valverde, in ensuring that the midfield was up to date. Also for Toni Kroos, the German force, it wasn't at his peak, but for this season he had so many unbelievable, stunning statistics to show that he actually has rediscovered his magic wand. The German playmaker completing a stunning 93.5% of the passes he attempted, also delivered 61 key passes, a rate of nearly 2 key passes per game. Shows a lot about that midfield position. So talking about the big difference made, the greatest and the biggest difference is the defensive unit. Talking about Marcelo, being complemented by the young bubbling spirit of Ferland Mendy, and Zinedine Zidane was able to rediscover these guys, bringing in Marcelo, bringing in Mendy, to alternate Marcelo, who is obviously aging, and he brought out the best from this defender. But the biggest difference is Sergio Ramos, the captain of the Real Madrid team. 2 seasons ago, or last season, was said to have diminished, tragically, and to think that he has brought Zinedine Zidane has actually brought him back up to speed, with a key partnership with Rafael Varane, the Frenchman, shows a lot about the kind of confidence he has in his team and the kind of thing that he has turned around for Real Madrid as a team. So that has been the situation for breathing life and bringing back forces of the old forces. So when I come back, I'll give you my number 3, my number 2, and my number 1. Don't go anywhere. This is Talking Point with Stevo, and we are live here on MZ Radio London and AP Radio UK. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back.
Hello guys, you're listening to Exports Talking Point with Stevo, and this is All Fields.
Welcome back. This is still Talking Point with Stevo, and we are discussing the La Liga Champions, talking about Real Madrid. My number 3, getting the transfer business right. For every team that is going to challenge, that is going to win trophy, you need quality depth. You need backup to be able to stand in whenever your first team players are either down with injury or loss of form, like we have seen in Eden Hazard, who came into Real Madrid. His first season cannot be said to be anything fantastic compared to what he has done with Chelsea, with a lot of high hope. And injuries and loss of form has shown that if there are no quality backup, then Real Madrid would have fallen like a pack of something else. So whatever remained of the core from the first spell as Real Madrid manager for Zinedine Zidane, were there, but then he needed to inject new players. So of course the likes of Mendy was brought in, Eder Militao was brought in, and the Hazard was brought in, Luka Jovic was equally brought in, and Rodrigo Goes also arriving at the Bernabeu. So these players stood the time of time, and maybe except for Luka Jovic, who has not found his rhythm up till now, and maybe to some extent Eden Hazard, who injury did not help, but in returning after the post-COVID resumption, he has seems to have found his magic. So invariably what we are saying is that it's not about the quantity, it's about the quality. And when the first team's player were down, the bench, the new guys actually showed that they have what it takes to keep the tempo going. Among the players who came in was Mendy, who made visible impacts, with Marcelo, getting old and about being phased out. But then the Frenchman came in and he made a mercurial impact both on the pitch and even on Marcelo, because Marcelo in a way got back to his shape, and Zinedine Zidane did a good job in trying to swap the two of them, and we got the best from the left wing defense. Hazard achieved his dream of playing for Real Madrid, but then it was a season blighted with injury, and a large chunk of the season, he was not at his peak. But then he did some yeoman's job, towards the end of the season, showing a good partnership with Benzema, and this, to a large extent, is what the transfer business does for them. Rodrigo was equally a major impact as a young Brazilian who came in, and we saw a lot of glimpses and a lot of impact from the young Brazilian. The only person that failed to deliver mainly is probably Jovic, but then next season is there for him to see if he can still Luka Jovic can still turn things around. So that's my number 3 for the Real Madrid becoming champion and the determinant factor to their success as the new Spanish La Liga champion. Alright, we'll go to number 2. Number 2 is the youth or the young forces revolution. The youth or the young forces revolution. Real Madrid is known as a team that buys and gets the best of big players across the globe. Over the years, they have shown that they are equally interested in identifying talent. No matter how much it costs, they will get such talent, so that such talent can stay long with them at the Los Blancos. And they have done this over the years. And this season, with the stars like Mendy, Federico Valverde, they have shown that they have a plan for young guys that can take over in the next few years. Rodrigo, like I mentioned, Rodrigo Goes and Vinicius Jr. are the Brazilian duo who are the future of Real Madrid, all things being equal. And to think that Eden Hazard and Marco Asensio did not do most of the playing last season, and yet We have Rodrigo and Vinicius Jr. coming on board. It shows that there's a plan for the future of Real Madrid. The major impact from the young force came from the hooligan talking about Valverde. The guy was something else. He was there. Federico Valverde was there alternating Luka Modric and Toni Kroos, and continuously in the midfield pack for Real Madrid, and showing that he has a future with the team. So this is a major factor to which did give a turnaround to the season of Real Madrid. When I come back, I'm going to give you my number one on Talking Point with Stevo. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
My name is John, and I'm on Talking Point with Stevo. Export, MZ Radio London.
Welcome back. This is the Talking Point with Stevo, where we look at Real Madrid's emergence as the champion of the Spanish La Liga and looking at what are the turning points for Real Madrid this season. I go to my number one. My number one is nothing but what I tag the coronavirus pandemic lock, or the coronavirus pandemic turnaround. What do I mean? The Zinedine Zidane men suffered 4 defeats in the last 7 fixtures across all competition just before the mid-season break, and they had shown that they were running out of steam towards the mid-season. 2 of those losses had come in La Liga, which meant that despite a big win over Barcelona in a Clasico, the Merengues were in a precarious position from where the title could have started slipping from their grasp. Indeed, heading into the break, Real Madrid had dropped down to 2nd position on the log table, and they needed to better Barcelona, results in the week after. But the suspension of football, talking about the coronavirus suspension, became something that the Los Blancos saw as a major, turning point for them. To a lot of teams, for example, in the English Premiership, it became the negative turning point for a team like Leicester, who stood as number 2 for major part of the number 2 or number 3, the major part of the league in England, only for them to drop eventually out of the top 4 and becoming number 5 eventually, because when they came back from post-COVID, they actually lost steam totally. But for Real Madrid, the 11 games left was what the 3 months interval for the COVID-19 was used to regroup and recharge the battery of the team. Most crucially, Eden Hazard that had been injured, that had been out of form at a point, he was becoming so fat, so big, used the 3 months period to regain his fitness, to revitalize his career, and to shape him back, bring back into shape what he can do for Zinedine Zidane and his boy. So beyond Eden Hazard, it was a total package for them. People like Luka Modric begin to enjoy a new peak, even at his age. Sergio Ramos was something else at that level, breaking all records, becoming the highest goal scoring defender, scoring 11 goals in the turn of the year. One will not forget, vividly those penalties and all those minute goals that is known for. And so all these guys brought their A game. One would call not forget Thibaut Courtois, letting in just 4 goals in the last 10 outings. It was wonderful. This is a goalkeeper that a lot of people felt Real Madrid made a major mistake, but now he's back and he's better, and this season has proven that Zinedine Zidane was right, sticking to Thibaut Courtois, the man from Belgium, as the number one goalkeeper of Real Madrid. The entire team, got a new lift. The entire team got a new resurgence, and that was what led to 10 back-to-back winning out of the 11 games. They won 10 of those matches, while Barcelona drew about 2 or 3 and losing 1 in the course of the whole team, invariably pushing them to number 2, talking about Barcelona, because there's a lot of weight on that man called Lionel Messi. If Lionel Messi did not tick, no one ticks in Barcelona, especially because the hooligan striker, talking about Luis Suarez, was just smarting from a long injury and what have you. So Barcelona capitulated, but importantly, Real Madrid resuscitated their season post COVID-19, talking about immediately after resumption, 3 months hiatus. It was something very good for them, while Barcelona and co via Messi, were fighting the outburst against Eric Abida and fighting coaches, the assistant coach, and causing a lot of internal, crisis amongst the Blaugrana. It does show that Real Madrid had the pandemic or the coronavirus turnaround magic for themselves, winning 10 out of 11, and that was enough consistency, that was enough luck, that was enough turnaround to ensure that they maintained and retained, of course not retained, they maintained the tempo to which Zinedine Zidane has set the last 3 seasons they had been with them. Would they be able to maintain this to the second leg of the Champions League quarterfinal, second round against Manchester City in Portugal? Only time will tell in August, as we approach August now, to see the second leg and resume back to the Champions League. Will Zinedine Zidane and his boys turn around the situation and bring back the magic wand and make them a possible strong contender for the Champions League again? Only time will tell. These are my 5 talking points in what shaped, in what turned around the Los Blancos season, talking about Real Madrid and under Zinedine Zidane. So till I come your way again next week, keep fit and always be good to yourself. Continue to believe in God and continue to do the best as human being, so that we would collectively be a better person and make the world a better place. Thank you. God bless you. I appreciate my editor, my producer, Muiwa MNet Studio. I want to appreciate the team of MZ Radio London for giving us this opportunity, and the team of AP Radio UK for believing in us and giving us this platform to continue to express and ventilate our views as regards football and all sporting related matter. Till I come your way next week, my name remains Alayode Steven Tolulope. Goodbye and God bless you.
In the words of Billie Jean King, a champion is afraid of losing, but guess what? Everyone else is afraid of winning. So which side would you love to be on? It's still Exports on Radio, a production of Eagles House Global Resources. Till we come your way again, let's get more sporting and stay active every day.